Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Billy. Today I would like to share with you two dresses that I recently made using the Butterick pattern B6446. This particular Butterick pattern is a fall wrap dress, and it has this really lovely pleated details in the bodice front. And it comes with two options for the skirt portion. One which is the blue gingham version, view B on the envelope, is a pleated skirt with 4 pleats in the front and 4 pleats in the back. And the other option is what looks like a half circle skirt. That would be view A for a knee length version and view C for a maxi dress version. In addition, it also comes with a flutter sleeve, and that I just thought was so cute. And so when I saw this pattern online, I knew I wanted to, buy this particular pattern. And so now that I've been making dresses for myself for a while, I knew that a pattern would not fit me, that I would need to make modifications. So these days I no longer cut into the paper pattern itself. So instead I traced it out using tracing paper. And the idea is so that if the modifications that I made are not successful, I can always go back to the original paper pattern to start again. To help me gauge the fit of this particular Butterick pattern, I traced size 8 of the pattern and just pinned it on my trusted dress form. And very quickly I could tell that I needed to lengthen the bodice by about 1 inch because my bodice length is actually 1 inch longer than my dress form, and the Butterick pattern falls exactly at the waistline of the dress form. And also my guess is that this bodice was designed for a C-cup chest. And so what I needed to do to reduce it was to pull back the shoulder seam and to reduce the gape or the space for the chest area. And then I also needed to widen the waist a bit because the size 8 finished garment is 26 inches, and 26 inches is exactly my waist. So I need to extend the waist portion by about 1 inch to give me a little bit of a wearing ease. So then after I made some basic adjustments, I pinned it back to my dress form and made further modifications. And so here are some pictures of the process. And overall, this incredibly helpful to have this dress form because it would not have been possible for me to make the modifications on myself. So I do think this definitely cuts down a lot of guessing time to customize the pattern to fit me. So the first dress that I made using this Butterick pattern is this sleeveless dress made from a quilting cotton that I purchased on Joann.com. And so here is a close-up of the fabric itself. And I lined this dress with cotton voile. And so I forgot to mention that this dress already comes with a lined bodice, but I just added the skirt portion for a fully lined skirt. And for this particular version, I used the pleated skirt view B, but with view A knee length. However, after I cut out the pattern, the paper pattern, it was quite apparent to me that the view A skirt is not exactly a knee length. It's definitely above knees. So I did add 1 inch to that pattern. Ideally, I would have added 2 inches, but because I didn't have enough fabric, so 1 inch was what I got, but I'm very happy about it. And so overall, I was quite happy with the fit, straight off the dress form. However, I believe my dress form has a B cup bust, but I'm an A cup person on a good day. And so after I made it up, it was just definitely too much fabric at the chest area. Even though it's not really gapey, but it was just a lot of fabric here. So what I did to reduce it was, as you can see here, so then, so what I did was I used this portion, the front piece, the waist portion as a bit of a pivot. And then I just pull this portion, pull this part bit towards this way and reduce by about an inch. And that tightened it up quite a bit, and then really gave me a very nice fit. And so now, this is not gapey whatsoever, and overall it fits very well. So I'm very happy about the first dress that I made. This is actually an interior view of the dress itself, after I lined it. And so as you can see, the lining is actually just two of the, without the pleats. And so in a way, even though the pattern doesn't mention it, but if you are interested in a more classic look of a faux wrap dress, you can just simply cut out two of this piece for your exterior bodice, and that will give you this a very classic faux wrap dress. And so I thought it is very versatile, and so that is actually an additional bonus of this pattern. And also one good thing about this pattern is that the V-neck portion is actually cut on the grain. I've seen quite a few wrap dresses where the V-neck, the overlap portion is cut on the bias, but then the problem is, obviously if it's on the bias, it will stretch, as time goes by, and even if it was not gapey when you first made it, it may become quite gapey after a while. And so that's why I really like this particular pattern. And so here is a quick video of this sleeveless cotton dress, and I paired it with a pair of 3.5-inch wedge. And overall, I really like the look. It looks very summery and it looks very polished. And so overall, I am very pleased with the fit of this particular one. The second dress that I made using this Butterick pattern is the red dress I'm wearing right now, made from a viscose fabric from Material Girl Laura in the UK. And so here's a close-up of the and the print itself. Material Girl Laura does not ship to the US. So how do I get my hands on this lovely fabric? Well, I actually have a secret weapon, thanks to the fact that my sister and her family live in England. I was able to get this. So here is a shout out and a big thank you to my sister Lori and my brother-in-law Ian for allowing me to use their address and for shipping it to the US to me. And even though this fabric is really nice and is very reasonably priced, however, after the postage, probably not so much. So most likely this will be a one-time occurrence. And just on a unrelated note, I recently discovered that in the US, fabric.com actually carries a very wide selection of rayon fabrics. So now I can be a spendthrift at home without ordering things from overseas. So now back to the dress. So for this red viscose dress, I use the same skirt, also the pleated skirt. However, I added the flutter sleeves from View C. And so here is a sort of a close-up of the sleeves themselves. I just love it. It's so drapey, so flowy, and I think this viscose fabric is just perfect for the flutter sleeves. And even though I lined the dress with an orangey red China silk. I did not line the sleeves because I wasn't sure how lining it would affect the drape. And however, the good thing about this fabric is that the underside is very close to the exterior side, and so so then I would not have the situation where the underside is very different from it and kind of distracts from the aesthetics of it. So overall, I'm very happy about it. And also, this sleeve length is actually half the length of the VUC length. And so I do think the picture on the envelope of the pattern is a bit misleading because it looks like the full length falls at your elbow, but this is the half length. I just exactly the half length of the pattern piece. So I think if I had made the full length one, it would have fallen here, which I don't think is is what I wanted for a summer dress. Also, on a related note, this is the first time I have made a garment using Rayon Viscose, and it's definitely different from anything I've used before. It's actually a little tricky to work with, but certain enough I got the hang of it and was able to sew through with no issue. And one thing about this viscose is that it's actually incredibly comfortable, and not just because I lined it with silk, but also the fabric itself is incredibly soft and drapey, and interestingly it has quite a different texture when it's wet versus when it's dry. So here's a quick video of this red floral viscose dress, and I paired it with a pair of 3.5-inch sandals. And overall, I really like the look, even though interestingly, this looks a bit more adult-ish, even though obviously I am an adult. But however, I suppose my style tends to veer towards from a more preppy look versus more of an adult look. But overall, I really like it. So here are the two dresses that I recently made using the Butterick B6446 pattern. And this pattern I think is very versatile because it works very well for both fabrics with a bit of a firmer drape, such as the quilting cotton, or for very drapey fabrics such as this red viscose rayon. And so I'm very happy that I tried this pattern. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do stay safe, and I hope I will see you soon. Bye bye.